Well, good morning and welcome to our daily devotional. My name is John Robbins. I'm one of the pastors on staff here at Pulaski Heights United Methodist Church. I want to read a brief passage of scripture from the Sermon on the Mount, the 5th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. Then I want to make some comments. So I invite you to hear these words. Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say that everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart." Now, one of the things that's really easy for us to do sometimes when we read scripture or when we hear sermons is to say that whatever is being preached or whatever is being read is applicable to other people but not to us. That somehow we have never committed murder, we have never committed adultery, we have never done some of those heinous kinds of things that scripture remind us of. And so somehow it's easy to put ourselves in a position where we believe it's those other people who do that, but people like us don't. Jesus' intent with these words are to remind us that all of us in some way or another are complicit in sin. Jesus says if you've ever looked at anyone else with lust, you've actually committed adultery in your heart. That changes the game for all of us who somehow believe because we have not committed the act, it's not applicable to our life. And one of the things that we have to do is read scripture with an understanding that it applies to all of us in every way. And that it is a reminder continually to live in such a way that those kinds of matters that we oftentimes may not participate in physically can still be something we participate in mentally with our thoughts. And sometimes when we decide we are not going to harm or hurt, we have those thoughts about doing it, and that can be just as harmful to our own psyche. So let's think about the many different passages of Scripture and recognize that we are a part of that process as well, and that Jesus calls us to be faithful and to acknowledge our own sin. Even when we believe someone else's sin may be worse than our own, what Jesus reminds us of is that sin is sin, and all of us can be complicit in sin. So let's do our best to remind ourselves of that. That in turn forces us to be who God would have us to be, which is exactly who we are to be. I hope you have a great week. I hope your day is filled with great joy, and the rest of the week is a blessing for you.